Hey guys, I know I haven't been doing a whole lot of video recently. It's been kind of crazy. We've been racing out of state in a couple places. It's going really well. It's just when we go out there, it's so hectic that I don't ever want to do video because I'm just trying to concentrate on not screwing up. But we're kind of taking a break in some racing. Right now, there's a lot of racing going on down south. And we could be going to that stuff, but I think we need to do a little bit of work. We did well down there, well enough to say that it's not out of place, but we need to do a little bit of work to the truck to get it actually to be competitive down there. I don't think it's very far off. We're really good at some stuff, but we're lacking in other stuff, so we're going to try to remedy some of that. And a big portion of it is going to be suspension. So we're going to do a lot of work to the front of the car, try to get as much weight out of it, and at the same time trying to get a little bit more travel for the front suspension. Right now when we launch, it's pretty much reaching the end of the stroke almost immediately, even if we have the shocks all the way tightened up. So I think what we're going to do is get some better shocks for one, so that I can actually have a little bit more resistance, have a little bit more control on how quickly it comes up. And then also just giving ourselves more range, more stroke. Right now, there's a couple of things that would bind up even if we weren't hitting, the bump stops on the suspension. I think the ball joints are pretty much maxed out. So we're thinking of switching a lot of that stuff, a lot of those joints to Heims, so they have more range of travel. And hopefully that helps us out. And then also replacing upper control arm, lower control arm with lighter stuff. I'm going to take out the sway bar right now. I've had that in there. I don't actually know how it really affects the behavior of the car. So we're going to take it out and drive it around with it and see how much it weighs, really. Everybody initially told me, take the sway bar out, you don't need it, it's extra weight. I just never did. So let's see what it's worth, for one, like how much weight it actually is, and then how it affects the way the car drives. And we'll test that here in a second. As far as other stuff that we're going to be doing, a little bit more power. That's one thing that we definitely were lacking. I made so much more power down in Dallas, and obviously there's still people that make tons more power than us. But I think with a little bit more in this, we can kind of take advantage of the other stuff that we do a little bit better, and hopefully not get run down like we have so frequent recently. So a little bit more power, that's going to come in, finally getting a cam in the motor. Probably going away from stock motor. I'm not sure. We're still kind of debating on that. Previously when I needed more power, I was just spraying a little bit of nitrous in it, which we can still do on top of it, but we're getting to the point where if I go down to sea level and, we have a cam in there and I max the turbo out, how much power are we comfortable with doing on the stock motor? It gets to a point where, I guess, no matter what, whether we go away from the stock motor or not, if we're going to be doing more power, we've got to start looking at more safety stuff. So catch pan is a big one. Got to have a catch pan in there. We're going to do an engine diaper so that if something does go wrong, it doesn't, send me into the curb or off the road or something like that. So it's kind of approaching that inevitability. Probably should have done it a while ago with how terrible the motor sounds and how much we've been, really leaning on it. But I think absolutely now that we want to turn it up, it's a must. We gotta get something in there for the unfortunate but probable event that it will break. So we'll start out with the sway bar, see what that does. Okay, so this is the bar that we're taking out. It's just the sway bar. It's basically like an anti-roll bar, same thing we put in the back. Alright, so we got the sway bar all the way out. It's actually only about 10.2 pounds. I mean, which doesn't really sound like a lot, but all the things that we're going to be doing are going to be little amounts of weight here and there. And they all add up. The last car that I did, I mean, we were taking things out that were ounces, seemingly, but as we kept taking them out of multiple different places and over and over and over again, I mean, it came out to be a significant weight loss. So that's kind of always how weight reduction in cars goes. So, and some of the other stuff that we're going to do, I forgot to mention as far as weight goes, is we're going to be taking out the fender, the wheel wells up in the front here. All of this metal in here with my awesome wiring. We'll have to find a new place for that to look like shit. So cutting all of that out to get as much weight out of there as possible. Going to move this battery, probably go to a full-size battery in the back. So more weight in the back and less up front, and then that allows us to cut out all of that fender lining and everything there. Again, I have to run my shit wiring somewhere else. You know, battery tray can come out, all of that metal can come out. We're going to get rid of as much of this stuff as we can, I guess. I mean, we still need to house these lights, but we may end up taking all of that away and then just doing small bar stock to, you know, pretty much only make mounting tabs for whatever we need in there. Just minimal as possible. And then probably pin this bumper up or a different bumper in some way. I don't actually think it weighs very much. We'll probably take that off and see how much that weighs too, see if it's even worth messing with. But these brackets that actually hold it on are relatively beefy, so we can get rid of those and just pin this bumper up in a different way. And then the unfortunate thing is the bench seat. The poor bench seat is gonna go. Kind of sad about it. I really like the bench seat. I think it's heavy as shit, so hopefully that gives us a little bit of weight. But yeah, we're probably going to go to either a single aluminum seat. I might build brackets for a passenger seat as well. And then the last thing that's kind of a major weight savings, big change, was we were going to change the suspension style. So right now it's a torsion bar setup. The cross member that the torsion bars actually mount to is really burly in these cars. Kind of bigger than much larger trucks, so it's kind of odd. It's a decent amount of weight. I'm using it right now as my mounting point for my transmission, but I think we can make something that's much smaller and lighter if we didn't have to have that there for suspension. So that might be something. I don't know if we're going to do that this go around. It actually will involve quite a bit of work because we'll have to get it to a coilover setup in the front. We're already going to be changing the upper control arm and lower control arm, so if we can make it happen, then yeah, it might as well. Instead of just ordering a custom shock, I'll be ordering a custom shock and coilover setup, and that'll replace that completely. That would be a huge weight savings, but we'll see how it goes. I'm not sure if that's going to be too much work than we want to do right now. We're not trying to do anything crazy, just trying to get rid of 150 pounds. Try to see if there's any weight in the doors that we can get rid of, take the bars out, cut any metal that we don't need out of there, the seat, suspension, the anti-roll bar, the fender linings, the battery, all of that stuff. That's all easy stuff. So we're gonna give that a try first before we start, going completely custom. Like if we have to build a new knuckle and everything to be able to accept a lower and upper control arm that'll allow us to do a coilover. So we'll see how that goes. This is the first part. Save 10 pounds all the way in the very front of the car, so it is, I guess, the most ideal place that we could take the weight out of. But we're going to go drive it around now and make sure that it's not all sloppy feeling and everything. So we'll see how that goes, and we'll just keep going with other things until we get enough weight out of the front.